This is how I felt a few months ago. I would wake up every morning with this heaviness in my gut. I dreaded getting the day started, and I always felt like I was on the verge of tears. I knew that if I wanted to feel better, I should just wake up, drink water, eat healthy, exercise, and read, but I was simply tired, and honestly felt I only had energy to function on autopilot. And I don't think I've been in that type of negative mental space in a really long time, and it took a while to get out of it, but I want to share some things that I did to feel a little better, because I feel like I'm in a much better place now, and I feel like I'm finally on the other side. And on days where I start to feel it again, I kind of refer back to this type of routine to help heal and just to ground myself again. Just some very simple things that you can do to start feeling better today. The day we decide to shoot this, it's pouring, which is kind of fitting. If there's one thing that really helped me when I was feeling my lowest, it's doing these morning affirmations, which I never would have expected, because morning affirmations, you have the image of someone just sitting in front of a mirror and saying cheesy lines like, I'm so strong and I'm so beautiful, and very cheesy things. My first step is to find a very private space, and then the next step is to put on some calming music. I would put on these morning frequencies from Spotify. What I found is you can't say things that you don't believe. Things like, I'm living my best life, and when you're not living your best life, saying those affirmations don't really help. You want it to feel good, and you want it to feel truthful, not so far out that you're rolling your eyes at yourself. So I kind of just started with simple affirmations like, I'm proud of myself for waking up in the morning today, I'm grateful to be alive today, and I'm taking one step towards a better version of myself. And I feel like just saying I'm taking one step towards a better version of myself really helped me, because when you're not feeling good, but you took the time to wake up and get out of bed, you're taking the time to try morning affirmations, even if you think they're lame. I think you are kind of taking that first step, and you can kind of get behind that. Like, okay, it's boring. This is how I felt in the morning. So the morning affirmations are just to kind of set the tone, especially when you wake up in the morning and all you hear is negative thoughts. What really helped is I would verbalize my negative self-talk. So I would say it out loud to myself, and then I would receive it and hear it as though I'm hearing my friend or someone that I love saying those things. And then I would respond to my negative self-talk, either, just responding, giving advice as though I'm giving advice to that friend or loved one. And when you're driving and you're talking to yourself, you might feel a little crazy in the beginning because you're just driving and chatting away. But it really helped, because it's like you're consulting with your higher self. I feel like it kind of just flows, like you're just talking, and it feels like it's what you truly believe, compared to when it's all in here. It just kind of loops around and spirals in there. But yeah, the verbalizing part was huge, just like saying it out loud and hearing it out loud and responding out loud. I still do it sometimes. The decision to switch careers was because Jack and I want to, and we feel like it's what we want to do in this lifetime. Is we want change, so we're going to do it. But the negative self-talk, a lot of it comes from not my own fears, but what other people are thinking, what other people might say, how I might explain this situation to somebody else. And then that would kind of fester and kind of just swirl around in my head. And then I would start saying it to myself. But I also believe that life is, we're just here to live, experience, and die. So if you're not happy and you have the ability to, then maybe you should switch it up and make life interesting, and that's fine too. This is seriously one thing I just keep coming back to. If it gets bad again, or if I'm feeling like I'm having a bad day, then I just start talking to myself like a crazy person. What's the famous Pinterest quote? You can't have any rainbow without any rain. So symbolic. In order to wake up and do my morning affirmations, I had to find a very specific reason to get up in the first place. What I decided to do was to sign up for yoga classes, and I haven't really done yoga growing up, just like a few YouTube videos here and there, a class once a year maybe at most. So I don't see myself as a yoga person and never really thought I would be a yoga person. I found this location that I really like, so I thought I'd try it this year, and it's like the one thing that worked in actually getting me up in the morning. Like nothing else has worked in the past, but finally I found something, and it's just the night before I will sign up for the class, and then the next morning I will wake up not wanting to go to the class, but if I don't go, they charge me $5 for canceling the class if it's like 3 hours before the class. So then I'll just go. And you know, just having 1 hour dedicated to myself, it's also kind of become like a third space for me. You know, there's like people that go regularly, so just seeing familiar faces every week, having a little bit of small talk is probably good for me too. I think when it comes to waking up in the morning, you can't just rely on willpower and being like, oh, I'll get excited to wake up tomorrow. I do think having class is a really good way to get in the habit of waking up if you don't have work to wake you up at a specific hour. I skipped yoga this morning though to film this. Hypocrite! No, I'm gonna go tomorrow. Yeah, rest days are important too. Self-discipline is self-care, but also sleeping in once in a while is self-care too. I think it's pretty clear when I spend more time outdoors, I'm mentally better. And because we're editing most of the time, I can go the whole day without going outside. So I feel like Jack has been really good at just being like, hey, you know, do you want to go outside and surf for a little bit? Or do you want to even, like, it doesn't even have to be a park, but just go out to dinner or lunch just to get out of that space. It's so important. Yeah, like you're better at it than I am. Something that I've been working on is kind of spending time online more intentionally. You know, social media is great when you're in a good place, and it's a place I want to be social and connect with people. But when you're in a bad place, there's a lot of news from all over the world, and there's everyone's highlights. And when you're not in a good place, seeing all of that doesn't really make you feel better. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, I think it's good to check how much you're spending online or too much screen time or whatever it is, because that might be affecting you. It was definitely affecting me, and yeah, sometimes you just need to go outside and touch grass. Do you feel like I've mentally gotten a little bit better in the past couple months compared to I guess 2 months ago?
Yeah, I think you did. You have gotten a lot more better emotionally, mentally, and I think the routine really helps.
I think something about routine is like, for the longest time I felt like routine was bad. I feel like I grew up being like, oh, I want to be spontaneous all the time. So routine felt kind of boring, and I didn't want to be someone that was stuck in routine. It felt like a negative thing, but now I'm really embracing routine, and it makes me feel better. Just having some consistency in my life is good too. So yeah, and then switch it up here and there, but a little bit of routine is good too. So I don't really want to overwhelm you with more things. I think when you're in the thick of it, listening to the productivity gurus being like, hey, you just gotta take a cold shower and eat healthy and exercise, go for a run, all these things, all those things are great. But I think that comes after. Like right now, I'm in a phase where I'm like excited to exercise again and try to treat my body better. But 2 months ago, that wasn't where I wasn't ready for that. Like I was just struggling to get up and I was just struggling, like to do anything. Like you don't have the energy to cook healthy food. You don't have the energy to do any of that. I feel like if I could go back and give myself advice, I would be like, hey, you're taking the first step, and it's going to take time. Like it's not like you do one yoga class and you're going to feel better. Some days I would feel good and then the next day I would wake up feeling horrible again. Just try to find a nurturing routine, a gentle routine. Like don't go all out. Don't be like, I need to exercise and tick off 10 things for my morning to-do list. Just getting up in the morning can be that one thing for you today. And just drinking a glass of water, you can be like, oh my God, I drank a glass of water this morning. Like you have to just take it slow, because it can get so overwhelming. And that's why I wouldn't listen to the productivity stuff when I was in the thick of it, because I feel like it can backfire when you're trying to do too many different things and then you feel like a failure when you don't do all those things. If you're in the thick of it right now, I just want to give you a hug. I want to give my past self a hug. And I think, as cheesy as this sounds, like you're not alone. I remember when I was in the thick of it too, I would talk to a few of my friends and a lot of people were feeling the same way. I don't know what it is after COVID, or if it's just people, in my age range where we're kind of hitting that quarter life crisis age, or what it is. Even people in their early 20s, like I know there's a lot of things that a lot of people are struggling with. I think again, online, sometimes we can get stuck seeing everyone's highlights and stuff and feel like we're really behind, but I think we're all going through something in our own way. But I hope some of these tips help and help you feel a little bit better, so we can all feel a little bit better and don't be so hard on yourself. Yeah. Okay. I will see you in the next video. Okay. Bye-bye.